All right, look, just to catch you up to speed, because I don't just want to appear here as Bozo, but earlier in the week or last week, I lost a bet where, yes, if NXT beat Raw and SmackDown at Survivor Series, which they did, I would present an episode of Ups and Clowns. So with no further ado, there you go. I'm a clown. You happy now? Everybody feeling good about themselves? You just taken my reputation that I have spent years building up and we flushed it down the damn toilet. Here I am, Simon the Clown. Woohoo, honk, honk. That I do. Look, I have this. I use it the other day. I use it again. Hilarious. Simon the Clown. Well, for 1 week only, let's up those clowns for SmackDown. Should I say Smack Clown? I hate starting ups and downs with a down, I mean clown, but I did not understand why we did begin this week as we did, because as Roman Reigns made his way to the ring, Corey Graves and Michael Cole argued. They had a little bit of a row about whether Roman Reigns was a good locker room leader or whether he was a bad locker room leader. Who cares if Roman Reigns is a good locker room leader or not? I don't care what he does backstage. I don't care if he talks to people. I don't care if he ignores people. I don't care if he brings his pet gerbil and lets it run around the backstage area as like Drew Gulak sits there going, oh, I hate Roman Reigns' animal. Why doesn't he get rid of it? Until Baron Corbin mentioned it a few weeks ago, I don't even think it was on anybody's radar. Down, clown. The big dog did wish us a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks very much. I'm having a great one, as you can see, Mr. Reigns, and said that he was really proud of everybody in his SmackDown team, which did get to victory at the pay-per-view, apart from one member. And as you can already figure out, it's Baron Corbin. Tawley Bawley arrived, he refuted such claims and reminded Roman that it was him who turned on he during the match, and after they pretended they were going to have a fight, instead, Baron Corbin went, you know what, you can just fight Bobby Roode instead. I'm just going to be completely honest with you here, dressed like Doink. This feud ain't really doing it for me. What did, however, was Roman versus Roode. It's good. Up. Naturally, Dolph Ziggler kept getting involved, but it's one of those moments when you remember how the WWE food chain works, because even though that was happening and Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler were working in tandem, and even Tawley Baldy was trying to make his presence known, it didn't make one iota of difference. Roman Reigns hit the spear onto Bobby, and he got the win. It didn't end there, though, because afterwards the heels jumped Roman, but it didn't make a difference. Roman is back to his superhero best, because even though he got hit with the scepter and almost had his hair smashed through a steel chair, eventually he was throwing the steel steps into Dolph Ziggler's face and spearing Bobby Roode through the barricade. And he was so mad and he was so angry, he then took the announce table and almost killed Roode by just hurling it on top of him. Then he screamed, I want more turkey. However, the best part of this segment was in the background as Roman Reigns was screaming that he wanted more Thanksgiving meat was a sign that said, Simon, give this an up. And you know how it works. Even when I'm dressed like an absolute doofus, they make me so incredibly happy. They make me feel really, really humble. And it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Give it an up. Right, okay, here's the thing. On Raw, we got this big announcement. On the Firefly Fun House this week on SmackDown, Bray Wyatt was going to introduce a new face to said Firefly Fun House. And because I'm somewhat of a fool, I got really excited about this. And while later on in the show, WWE kind of made amends in terms of this section, clown. I mean, mostly what I didn't like here was that Bray Wyatt has now revealed a third Universal title ever since he became champion. And this one is like a special one for the Fiend. And it's honestly one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I didn't care about the red Universal title. I didn't care when they turned it blue. I didn't care that the 24/7 championship looked like something I made in home economics. You don't even make belts in home economics. This one just looks ridiculous. I understand it. I get it. Bray Wyatt right now is the #1 merchandise seller in WWE. So somebody probably went, we could sell a lot of those. But it is one of the worst looking titles I've ever seen in my entire life. We did find out that the Wyatt-Daniel Bryan feud isn't over though, because here he literally said out loud, I want to play with you again, Daniel Bryan. Now that makes absolutely no sense because he absolutely schooled him at Survivor Series, but I like their chemistry and I'm pretty much in love with Daniel Bryan at this point in my life. There's more coming too. We then got a Sheamus return video as well. Hell yeah, give it an up. Nothing special, but it made me realise I missed the man and that he will add something different and something new to SmackDown when he does come back. He's got his old hair and everything. And I enjoyed Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak. It was standard stuff, but I basically enjoyed the fact they were just able to go out there and have a decent match, as opposed to, Braun Strowman interrupting and trying to eat one of their kidneys or one of their livers. Ali got the win after the 450, his push continues. Drew Gulak was able to show, hey, I absolutely can wrestle. It was fine. Then though, what did I miss? Where did I go? Did I pop to the toilet and somehow miss like 82 weeks of WWE programming? Because out came Sasha Banks and Bayley to address everything that happened at Survivor Series. And Bayley was all like, oh, I hate everybody even though I tapped out. And Sasha Banks was like, look, I was the captain of Team SmackDown at Survivor Series, but was I able to pick my own wrestlers? No. And if that had been different, we definitely would have won. Then Lacey Evans walked out to talk to these two, and for some reason, she is now a good guy. Like what? When? How? Why? Clown. I mean, that character is the definition of a heel, and yet here she was telling me how happy she was it was Thanksgiving and that she'd made a Thanksgiving dinner for around about 422 people. That also means now, when it comes to Lacey Evans, I know more about her personal life than I do about her professional life, and mainly why the hell all of a sudden she's turned over a new leaf. Her and Banks eventually got into it before Lacey gave her the woman's right in her face, and yeah, fair enough to WWE, the crowd did chant for Lacey Evans, but I'm 99% sure last time I saw her, she called me a nasty or a skank. It's not very nice, is it? More Firefly Fun House stuff was next as Kayla Braxton was trying to interview Daniel Bryan, saying, Daniel, are you going to go for another round with The Fiend? But before he could say anything, we did get another episode of the show. And thankfully, the Muscle Man is back, who I actually think is the best character on that damn thing. It started with Huskus the Pig Boy saying he was sad because he wanted to eat more Thanksgiving food. And after Bray Wyatt had told him, look man, everything you know about Thanksgiving is an absolute lie. You can eat whatever you want. He did get back into the Muscle Man-like outfit, and him and the pig did a rap about Thanksgiving and reptiles. I mean, honestly, it is one of the weirdest things you will ever see in your life, but, he throws himself into it with so much moxie, you can't help but put a smile on your face. He challenged Bryan once again, but even then, Bryan didn't know what to do, and the camera zoomed right into his face as he looked all confused and forlorn. I mean, it's pretty obvious you want your revenge and you probably want to get the title. At least we have an answer by the end of the show. It was Nikki Cross versus Sonya Deville after this, and beforehand, Nikki Cross had a promo cut on her by Mandy Rose, who described her as cold Thanksgiving leftovers. Hello, my name is Simon the Clown Miller, and welcome to another episode of Nobody Talks Like That, Mandy Rose. There are so many words in the English language, and a vocabulary can be a beautiful and wonderful thing, but you decided to call your opponent some cold, dirty Thanksgiving leftovers. And I was then meant to believe, as Michael Cole told me, the reason Nikki Cross got jumped so early in the match is because she was so emotional about the words that had been said. I actually laughed out loud to that because A, it's nonsense, and B, nobody talks like that. I tell you though, it had a really satisfying ending. It's getting up. I didn't really care about the match, to be honest, especially because once again it ended with the most devastating move in all the sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up which Nikki Cross did to Sonya Deville, that annoyed Fire and Desire. So then it started beating up Nikki Cross, but the good bit, the thing I'm alluding to, the thing that got it up in the first place, was that we had another return. It was Alexa Bliss. She sprinted down the aisle, she saved her friend, and while this is another Lacey Evans situation where those two just turned face by magic, they just have such good chemistry with one another. I enjoyed it. And I tell you why there was a slight bit of confusion when all of a sudden The Miz confronted Daniel Bryan backstage and was being really nice to him. I thought this entire bit was so well delivered and added so much context to the Daniel Bryan-Bray Wyatt feud that I may have exploded with joy. And right now, if I did explode, probably sweets and candy and colour would just come out of me. I am a big fan of depth, and intentional or not, the Miz's point here was like, look Daniel, you are really important to SmackDown. You are really important to the roster, even though it pains me to say it, and look what has happened to other people after they have fought the Fiend. He took on Finn Balor, he's gone all evil, and he's gone absolutely crazy, and now the same thing is happening to Seth Rollins. So we're not treating those feuds like we're meant to forget about them, they are actually having an effect on the WWE universe. Bryan then remembered that the two hated each other and he walked off, but this was absolute fire. This is what I want the Bray Wyatt/Fiend character to be, someone who just sits over both brands and you see exactly what he's caused after he's done with you. Then SmackDown fell through the floor. Clown. For some reason, Drake Maverick tried to kiss Dana Brooke. I don't know, don't ask me. I have absolutely no clue. And right now, I'm dressed like a clown. Then Elias made his grand return to television as well. He sang a song about Drake Maverick being a massive dick. And all I can figure, if you don't know, all week, basically Dana Brooke and Batista have been having like this flirtatious twat over Twitter, and I think they're actually going to go on a date. Maybe this was WWE taking the mick out of that, but it was just bad television. The New Day then took on Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I mean, that can't be bad, and it wasn't. Began with Kofi and Big E challenging anyone as some kind of celebration of this holiday, which was absolutely weird, and this was accepted by Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, who came out there with Sami Zayn, who then proceeded to cut a promo about how much he hated Thanksgiving and how much he hated Black Friday. And I don't think this was scripted. I think this is exactly what Sami Zayn thinks. Also made me chuckle because on the day we get a return video for Sheamus, Cesaro has decided to tag with someone else. I don't even know why he is friends with Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. That's not the story point that WWE just went, we don't need to worry about that because stuff just happens. But I guess Sheamus is just going to have to be upset about it, isn't he? I also don't know why the Intercontinental Champion is now entering himself into tag matches, but look, we're doing that with Becky, and she's the Raw Women's Champ, so why the hell not? And you already know how this goes. After Sami Zayn had tried to interfere and fell, and been told he had to go to the backstage area, Kofi Kingston hits Cesaro with the Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3. They are still your champs. And you know what that means. We've got to get the Swiss Superman stock meter back, or whatever the hell I called it. There it is on the screen, and it continues to run itself into the ground because Cesaro never wins. He never even gets a hint of a win, and that's probably why he teamed up with Sami Zayn, because they literally never win. That can be their new tag team name, the LNWs. You heard it here first on Ups and Clouds. We then got to our main event angle, and I tell you, I've never felt so torn because half of me was like, that is really interesting, but unfortunately within my soul is also a massive wrestling nerd, a wrestling geek. We got to get into it. It was the culmination of everything we'd seen already between Daniel Bryan and The Fiend, with Daniel Bryan coming out to address the crowd. And he understands what Wyatt has done for the likes of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, but he's not like that. And this is where even more depth came into it, because basically Finn Balor and Seth Rollins turned their back on the crowd, whereas Daniel Bryan, he is going to embrace the chants. He is going to re-embrace the yes movement, and that's how he's going to do things differently. The nose fell off. The nose fell off. Do you know how long this took me, damn it? He then asked the crowd whether he should accept the challenge, and everybody chanted yes, and he realized that it wasn't complete unless he joined in as well, which he did. And look, that chant has been around for what, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, and it's as over now as it was then, and that's because Daniel Bryan is just the damn best. This was absolutely wonderful. It fills me with glee, so all of that gets it up. As soon as this had happened though, we did get another somewhat surprising episode of the Firefly Fun House, where Bray Wyatt was like, I forgot, I did promise a new face here on SmackDown, so let's sort it out right now. The lights in the arena went red and all that weird Bray Wyatt stuff started to happen, and he appeared from under the ring. Now I do have to ask Michael Cole why he thinks hell is under the ring. That's what he said. Here comes the Fiend from hell. Hell is not under a WWE, Michael Cole. If you go under there, there'll be like ladders and tables and chairs. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, the Fiend did appear from there, and he got Daniel Bryan and he dragged him, I suppose, into hell, if I'm meant to believe the narrative I'm being told. Then all of a sudden, out of said hole, started coming all of this hair. So you were meant to think, okay, well, he's either ripping off Daniel Bryan's hair from his head, or maybe he's ripping off his beard, maybe he's ripping off both. Hence the new face of the Firefly Fun House. We pretty much just shaved Daniel Bryan bald. Now here's the thing, here's where the wrestling geek and the wrestling nerd in me jumps out onto the screen. If Daniel Bryan has decided he wants to get rid of his beard or he wants to get rid of his hair, why couldn't we have tied that into the next match? I know, like, not hair versus hair, but putting your hair on the line in a wrestling fight seems a little bit contrived, but Bray Wyatt / The Fiend is such a weird dude, you could have made it work. He could have come, like, obsessed with Daniel Bryan's image and promised to rearrange his face. This Daniel Bryan says, no, you're not, and if you are going to do that, I want to put your title on the line, so it's title versus hair, and then you'll have this amazing moment at, TLC, whatever pay-per-view you want to do, where Daniel Bryan gets shaved bald or whatever. It would work. It's like when all of a sudden Baron Corbin just came out and went, shave my head, sorry, what are you gonna do? I just decided to do it. It's like if I all of a sudden popped up on Ups and Downs, Ups and Clowns, dressed as a clown, you'd be like, why are you dressed? Build it. And that's what we did do, and now thought we got a payoff, the nose is gonna go. It's the worst nose ever, but there's a payoff I really think we should have built to this. And again, it's gonna be fascinating to see what happens next week. This was a very well executed bit. As I say, just something inside of me was like, that is not what we should have done. Clown. And that is a bit harsh, but it just felt like a missed opportunity. But shifting that to one side for the moment, this feud is actually really, really good. And I want to see what happens when, again, I presume they're going to fight at TLC. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. And I'm desperate to see what Daniel Bryan looks like next week. We also do have to address some conspiracy theories that are going on the internet. Now, like I say, Bray Wyatt promised us a new face, and there were certain hints here as to what it could be, but the last shot we saw of SmackDown was Bray Wyatt coming out of his hole again, but his jacket had disappeared, and fair play to the people that came up with this opinion. It does come off him in around about 3.2 seconds, which I don't think is possible. So now some people are saying this was actually somebody else dressed up like the Fiend, dressed up like Bray Wyatt, and of course straight away everyone goes, it's Liv Morgan, because that thing is never going to die. I don't know whether there's anything in that, but I liked it, so I thought I'd mention it. And that was that. That was the end of Ups and Clowns. Hopefully I'll never have to do this again. I'm taking this off, because this was just a pile of goo, wasn't it? But thank you very much for watching me. Thank you very much for running my reputation into the ground. There's my spinning arrow. I mean, SmackDown was an absolute roller coaster this week, but it is going to get an up just because I am invested in Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend. I like it. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's episode of SmackDown. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter, WhatCulture WWE, and watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and I know I look like a goof, I look like a goon, I look like a clown. I'm well aware, I have a mirror, I've seen myself, but I'm a man of my word, which is ironic because that's what the Joker said in the Batman movies, but I am a man of my word. I lost my bet, and now I have paid my debt. Next time I see you, I will not be dressed as a clown. I will be a clown, but I won't be dressed like one.